This is BBC Newsline. I'm Tara Mills. Tonight's headlines. The man who was found murdered in a house in County Armagh yesterday was Chrissy Burns, originally from Warrenpoint.
It was very, very hard to take in, actually, what did happen, you know. And I still find it hard to take in, that is, you know.
The author of a report into gender identity services for young people in England is to carry out a review here.
Who is better to say whether this is compliant to the CAS recommendations than CAS herself?
I don't understand the rationale for yet another review. We've far too many reviews in Northern Ireland.
Women at a new female-only homeless facility say it makes them feel safer.
I've never had my own front door key, just for me, you know, and that's extremely important, you know. So that's my little sanctuary, as I like to call it, you know.
There's another twist in the saga of Mahara's big yellow box. There's now a much smaller version, and this one is here to stay.
After last night's excellent World Cup qualifying win against Luxembourg, the Northern Ireland football team is now here in Cologne for their next game against Germany on Sunday. Join me live for all of tonight's sport.
And it's been mainly dry today with some glimmers of sunshine. Will it stay that way for the weekend? I'll have your full forecast shortly.
Hello and welcome to Friday's programme. The man who was found dead in a house in County Armagh yesterday has been named as Chrissy Burns. He was originally from Warrenpoint. A murder investigation has been launched and a 39-year-old man arrested yesterday remains in police custody. Our South East reporter Cormac Campbell has more.
Searching for evidence. As the police cordon stayed up around Cusher Green in Mount Norris, forensic teams worked inside. In the wider area, detectives conducted door-to-door inquiries in the hope that neighbours saw something. The deceased man has been named locally as Chrissy Burns, a man in his early 40s, originally from Warrenpoint in South Down. It's understood he'd been living in Mount Norris for a number of years. The victim's body was found yesterday morning at around 11:30. Police say he suffered serious head and facial injuries. Today, local residents and political representatives have been trying to come to terms with exactly what happened on this quiet cul-de-sac.
It took a good while, I can tell you that much, to understand what really had happened. It was very, very hard to take in, actually, what did happen, you know. And I still find it hard to take in, that is, you know. I ask myself why.
Helicopters were about, and I think the local school was closed for a while, you know, just out of being safe, obviously, for the students, young students, you know, so there's a sense of fear around the local community at that time, you know, because obviously constituents, neighbours didn't know what was going on.
The PSNI will certainly not want to rush anything because we do, you know, we know how investigations work, we know the length of time involved, so the police will want to make sure they cover every square inch of that property and ensure that all potential evidence is gathered and, you know, compiled and collated.
10 people have lost their lives over the last 10 weeks, and I think the police constable will probably have something to say on that front.
A 39-year-old man arrested yesterday on suspicion of murder remains in police custody. Cormac Campbell, BBC Newsline, Mount Norris.
Now, gender identity services in Northern Ireland are to be reviewed by the same doctor who carried out a review in England. Dr Hilary Cass was appointed by the Health Minister Mike Nesbitt, but he's been criticised by trans rights activists who've accused him of kicking the can down the road. 1,000 people are currently waiting up to 7 years for services here. Our political correspondent Jane McCormack has more.
It was a major review that reignited debate about gender identity, but its findings only applied in England. Now the woman behind it, Dr Hilary Cass, has been asked to assess our services. With more than 1,000 people here on a waiting list, frustration from some is evident.
I don't understand the rationale for yet another review. We've far too many reviews in Northern Ireland. Get on and deliver services to trans people in Northern Ireland. That's what we need to do.
A point put to the Minister behind the move.
I don't think a 2-day rapid review is kicking the can. down the road. It will be a short, sharp review. She'll be here for 2 days. She'll bring 3 experts with her, including the woman who's heading up the new 6 clinics that Wes Treating, the Secretary of State, is introducing in England, and she will tell us whether we are compliant or not.
Trans campaigners who just last month welcomed news of £800,000 in funding for the service now fear things are going backwards.
And successive health ministers have failed to deal with this problem, have failed to adequately support trans communities through healthcare services in Northern Ireland. That's all we want. All we want is for people to be able to access basic healthcare.
But rival unionists who have been putting pressure on Mike Nesbitt unsurprisingly feel differently.
We shouldn't be bringing in, a professional after to justify a decision by a minister. We should always be getting the evidence up front, and scrutiny is right and proper in this case.
We're here to try to ensure that we can safeguard children and ensure that there's an appropriate use of public money. That is the central premise. I hope that Dr. Cass clarifies those key points, but there is many questions as to the timing of this particular review.
And as for the timing, this review isn't even due to start until November, but it's already dividing opinion. And with MLAs due back here on Monday, you can bet it'll crop up in conversation again. Jane McCormack, BBC Newsline, Stormont.
Now, this is Charmaine. She spent years in an abusive relationship and is now living in a female-only facility in Belfast. She says it helped her feel safe and allowed her to rebuild her life. The Simon community say they have opened the service to try to address the urgent and growing need of homelessness among women. Charmaine is one of 22 women living in the temporary accommodation. Kelly Bonner has the story.
So I am on the first floor.
Charmaine became homeless after being in a domestic abuse relationship. She turned to alcohol to cope. When she arrived at the South Belfast accommodation 15 months ago, it housed both men and women.
I actually found it quite intimidating, to be honest. For the first couple of weeks, I mostly stayed in my room. I didn't come downstairs to use the shared facilities. I actually found it really hard to blend in. I don't know, I was frightened, I suppose.
From October last year to March this year, 609 households all across Northern Ireland declared themselves homeless because of domestic violence. 83% of those households were led by women.
The Simon community said that due to the thousands of women all across Northern Ireland who are now homeless because of domestic violence, there is an urgent and growing need for female-only spaces.
What women have told us is that their childhood has often been filled with abuse, that they've experienced time in the care system, that violence has continued through their adult life, and some of that violence has been perpetrated by men, and actually to have a space that is women only is something that actually makes them feel safe, makes them feel secure. There's no issues around re-traumatisation.
For Charmaine, having a women-only space has meant she can fully recover and live independently without fear.
I've never had my own front door key, just for me, and that's extremely important, So that's my little sanctuary, as I like to call it. I still get a bit overwhelmed sometimes, when I open that door and I walk in and oh, this is my place, No one's coming through this door unless I let them through.
The accommodation will house 22 women, but the Simon community are urging the executive to do more. Kelly Bonner, BBC Newsline in Belfast.
And you can find out more on this story right now on our website or by downloading the BBC News app. Now, around 500,000 electricity customers here will see their bills go up from next month. Those with Power NI will see their tariff increased following a review, while SSE Airtricity Gas is set to cut prices. Claire Graham has been looking into this for us. A mixed picture, Claire, what's happening?
Certainly, Tara. Well, let's start with Power NI customers, Northern Ireland's largest electricity provider. This is the second tariff rise this year and prices are going up by around 4%. Let's explain that as money in your pocket. A typical Power NI customer with a credit meter will see their bill rise by around £40 a year. If you have a pay-as-you-go meter, that number is sitting around £39 extra a year. However, SSE electricity gas customers, they're about to see their bills come down by around 8%. That works out at around £94 off a year. So with prices going up for one and down for the other, will we actually feel any better off this winter? Well, I asked Colin Broomfield at the utility regulator just that.
Well, obviously in terms of the power and eye bill, they are going up 4% this year. But if you look at the overall combined gas and electricity bill from the 1st October, if you've got electricity and gas, you'll see a net decrease in your bill of around 2%, which will be about £40 to £50 saving per year.
Claire, what sort of options do customers have?
Well, first of all, shop around. Make sure you are on the best deal possible. Use those price comparison tools on the Consumer Council website. Another piece of advice is look at how you are paying. Different forms of payment could make it cheaper or more expensive, whichever way you choose to do it. But if you are struggling or worrying, get in touch with your supplier without delay for advice and support.
Claire, thank you. Now, the Communities Minister, Gordon Lyons, has strongly criticised some members of a local council after they said the Army would not be welcome at a jobs fair in Londonderry. The Ministry of Defence had wanted to offer career advice to young people interested in joining the Army, Navy and Air Force, but Nationalists said they were totally opposed to the idea. Unionists accused them of adopting a disgraceful stance which underlined their hatred and bigotry. Here's our North West reporter, Kieran Turish.
The Ministry of Defence had signed up to take part in the jobs fair in the Foyle Arena Leisure Centre. But when the Department for Communities asked the council for its views, there was a backlash from nationalist councillors. This is the first time that the armed forces had requested a presence at the jobs fair. It's understood that information would be given on potential careers in the Army, Air Force and Navy to those who were interested. Nationalist councillors said the Army's legacy in the city, where 13 people were shot dead on Bloody Sunday, meant they would not be welcome here or anywhere else.
They're involved in illegal occupations right across the world. The people of this city and district have a right to be angry about that. They have a right to express that anger, and they have a right to oppose the British military being involved in a very positive event like the jobs fair.
Unionist councillors defended the MOD's right to be at the jobs fair.
The reaction from the non-unionist members of council was, to my mind, vitriolic and bigoted and caused a lot of hurt in our community.
The council said the steer given by elected members would be communicated to the Department of Communities.
Parts of the Northwest are very hostile to people simply because of who they are, and I think that's something that people should reflect on. I think that would be wrong. And also, it's taking away the opportunity for job opportunities to be presented to people, and no one has anything to fear from that.
After this row, the council now intends adopting a formal policy in relation to future job fairs. Kieran Turish, BBC Newsline, Derry.
Now, you might remember this from the summer, the enormous yellow box junction that appeared in Mahara. It was 40 metres long, it was scaled back after it was deemed too big, and then it disappeared completely. Now it's back again, but this time it's much smaller, at about a quarter of its original size. Our community correspondent Mark Simpson has been following the twists and turns.
This is how it started, and this is how it finished. A relatively small yellow box. But to get to this point has been quite a journey. It started in June when the big box appeared. It was the talk of the town.
I think they were going for a world record.
In July, it was realised that the big box was too big and it was cut in half. Then in August, suddenly there was no box at all as the road was resurfaced. Fast forward to today and the box is now back, but even smaller, only covering one lane and half the junction. But some believe that's enough.
It was too big and it needed to be made smaller. And they did come back and do it. They took my advice. We definitely need it, and that is the perfect size now.
Perfect size?
Perfect size.
So if the Department for Infrastructure is listening, what is your message to them?
Just leave it alone now.
So how much did all the chopping and changing cost? A spokesperson for the department said contract rates are commercially sensitive, therefore costs cannot be released. All the indications are that this is indeed the final version of the yellow box. This saga has rumbled on all summer, but now it seems it has reached the end of the road. Mark Simpson, BBC Newsline in Mahara.
Mark, I certainly hoping so. Time for sport now, and after last night's World Cup win against Luxembourg, the Northern Ireland football team are now in Cologne, and Stephen Watson followed them there. Hi, Stephen.
Hi Tara, thank you very much. Yes, the Northern Ireland team made the 2.5 hour journey by coach from Luxembourg to Cologne today. Here on Sunday night they take on the mighty Germany, ranked 9th in the world in their second World Cup qualifying campaign. And Northern Ireland arrive here, buoyed, as you say, by an excellent 3-1 victory against Luxembourg last night. Now, after Germany were surprisingly beaten by Slovakia in their first game, Michael O'Neill's young side actually top their World Cup qualifying group for now. And it took a very resilient second half performance last night for Northern Ireland to secure the victory and all 3 points, as Gavin Andrews reports.
We're looking to build on that, but yeah, I mean, it was a great start. We've got a lot to go, but I mean, can't start any better than that. And then
it was a good start, but overall the first half was quite tough. But yeah, I think the second half we dug in, scored early on, and we finished off strong.
First international goal for you?
I mean, yeah, I nearly got the one in the summer against Denmark, so yeah, I'm buzzing to get the one tonight, and for it to mean so much, it's incredible.
A winning start brings real momentum in this squad's push for a place at next summer's finals.
Great, obviously that's us learning as a group. Obviously, we've years ago we were quite young and we probably wouldn't be able to fix that on the pitch. And obviously, as a team, we're gaining a lot of experience, and that's the kind of things that you work on and you learn over your career. So to join me football at club level, and I'm enjoying international football, so just got to keep it going.
I think everyone knows how much I love coming away with Northern Ireland. Obviously, it feels like I'm just coming away with a lot of my mates, which is really nice. So now we've got a really good group of players, and yeah, I really love coming away every time. So but now on to Germany, it's going to be another difficult game. Obviously, they're a really good side, so looking forward to it.
All roads lead to Germany in Group A, as wait for it, top faces bottom in Cologne. Gavin Andrews, BBC Newsline.
What an occasion we are set for on Sunday, and the game Germany against Northern Ireland is live on BBC One and the iPlayer. Now, the Republic of Ireland kick off their World Cup qualifying campaign tomorrow night at home to Hungary. It's almost 25 years since the Republic made it to the World Cup, but hopes are high that they can qualify for next summer's finals, which will take place at the site of some past glories. Thomas Niblock reports.
Knocked down by Houghton, goes for the shot.
The World Cup finals will be played in the United States, just like it was when Ray Houghton was the toast of Irish football. But the aim for this current squad is to get back there, and it starts with Hungary on Saturday.
Hugely important game, and I hope people will understand that and come in numbers. And I know I think it's just a few hundred tickets left, so it's going to be a sellout, and I hope the crowd that will come in will support and continue their love to the team. If we win these games and get good results, this one, everybody will be chasing us. If we lose against Hungary, we will be chasing until the end of the campaign. So it's a hugely important game for us.
Kevin Kelleher has left the Premier League champions Liverpool to play more first-team football at Brentford. He knows Saturday is a huge match.
Obviously, it is a change of mentality for me. It's a nice position to be in, to know you're going to be playing week in, week out. So yeah, in terms of that, it's been quite positive for me, and it's going to be a big game. Yeah, I think the next step for us is to probably go qualify for a major tournament. So we really need to start off with a win, to be honest.
A win in front of a 55,000 Dublin crowd would represent a huge first step towards a first World Cup finals appearance since 2002.
Robbie Keane!
Thomas Niblock, BBC Newsline.
Now it's day 2 of golf's Irish Open at the K Club in County Kildare. And Rory McIlroy, who won the tournament at that venue back in 2016, has catapulted himself right into contention going into the weekend. The world's number 2 player and the Masters champion shot an excellent round of 6 under par to move to 7 under overall for the tournament. He played some wonderful shots, producing 4 birdies in his last 6 holes, including at the 18th, where he hit a superb approach shot. Rory is tied for 3rd place, 5 shots behind the leader, Joachim Lagergren. Tom McKibben is 5 under par and tied for 15th, while Shane Lowry is 4 under and just outside the top 20. Could be a special weekend for Rory McIlroy. Now, at the Women's Rugby World Cup, Ireland face their toughest assignment of the tournament so far this Sunday. They take on the reigning World Cup champions and 6-time winners New Zealand. Now, both teams, who have already secured their place in the quarter-finals, will go head-to-head in front of a sellout crowd in Brighton, from where Nicola McCarthy sends this report.
A win over Spain last weekend in Northampton guaranteed Ireland's place in the last 8. But this final group test against New Zealand won't be treated any differently.
A last group game, a game against a World Cup contending group, 30,000 people gonna fit into the stadium. So it's the occasion itself is a great opportunity for players, staff, and the Irish fans to be a part of.
Where Ireland finish in the group will determine who comes next. South Africa and France, the 2 possibilities. And it is at that stage fans hope that star player Aoife Wafer will make her long-awaited return.
She's desperate to be involved this weekend. We could have considered picking her this week. We've made a decision that actually for her best opportunity and as the team's best opportunity is to go hard in training again next week, and we'll see where that stands us for the following week.
For those involved, though, it's games and experiences like these that they're relishing.
You live for these games, you live for the big moments. That's the beauty of being in these environments. Not everyone gets to relish this opportunity to put yourself under high pressure and to play in the big game. So yeah, it's a huge honour, and very excited about it.
With fans arriving in their thousands here in Brighton, it's very clear to see the impact that this squad is having and the people it is reaching. That's something that this group of players have actively talked about, and they see it as part of their mission. As for the prospect of facing the current world champions and one of the powerhouses of world rugby, another clear message is that this squad fears no one. Nicola McCarthy, BBC Newsline, Brighton.
And we'll keep you up to date with Ireland's progress over the weekend. Now, Belfast boxer Michael Conlan returns to the ring tonight in Dublin. It's a 3rd attempt to start a journey which he hopes will take him to a professional world title. Now 33, Conlan said he's not feeling the pressure to deliver.
I'm not sitting here saying I'm not going to be nervous. Of course I am. Of course there's a certain type of pressure, but to be honest, I don't feel it in the way I did when I was younger and the way I did when I was in different kind of fights in different positions. So I'm just enjoying it at the minute. I'm really having fun, and I'm excited for this fight because this is the best I've felt going into a fight in a long time. That training camp was fantastic. You know, I'm in a really good place mentally and physically.
Good luck to Michael Conlan. Finally tonight in ice hockey, the Belfast Giants are currently in action in the Champions League in Lucerne. They are trailing 6-3. That's it from Cologne. Don't forget, big game Sunday night, live on BBC One, Germany against Northern Ireland. I'll see you then.
Stephen, thanks very much. Well, the Mourns were looking really picture perfect today. How is the weekend looking for us, Barra?
Yeah, a few glimmers of sunshine there before the cloud rolled in. It's a bit of a game of 2 halves this weekend. It looks as though Saturday's going to be the better day, certainly in terms of not so windy conditions. This was the scene today. Some lovely dramatic clouds. More cloud in the forecast coming our way this evening and tonight. And that means it's going to be a milder night than last night. Temperatures down to about 12 or even 13 degrees. Mainly dry. A few spots of rain then pop up by tomorrow morning. So for some of us, a bit of a damp grey start to the day. There will be a few splashes of rain through the morning, but by the afternoon, it's going to turn drier, but it is going to stay rather cloudy. So a few bits and pieces of rain out there. The winds coming in from the southeast are going to be quite brisk as well. But all in all, for many places through the afternoon, a dry picture, some sun. It's this weather system bringing unsettled weather towards the west, which is going to bring some strong winds our way and some rain into the early hours of Sunday. But before then, for many of us tomorrow night, mainly dry, cloudy, with those southeasterly winds continuing to build. And then overnight into Sunday, those winds will begin to pick up a little bit, and we're looking at gusts on Sunday of around 50 miles an hour in some inland areas, perhaps stronger around the coast as well. But take a look at the overnight temperatures tomorrow night. 15 or 16 degrees, well above average for the time of year. So a much milder start on Sunday, but it's also going to be much more unsettled. You can see the winds there beginning to pack a bit of a punch. Early outbreaks of rain too, which could be quite blustery before it improves through the day. So for the Derry Half Marathon on Sunday, very windy to start and some splashes of rain. Not ideal for the runners, but good luck if you're taking part. So a wet and windy start for some of us on Sunday before the rain gives way to drier, sunnier weather. The winds gradually beginning to ease towards Sunday evening to temperatures around 17 or 18 degrees. Quick look ahead towards next week. Low pressure looks set to dominate, so at times it is going to stay unsettled, I'm afraid.
Mahara, thank you very much. That's it for now. Our late news is at 10:30. From everyone on the team, thanks for watching BBC Newsline this week. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.